Hello again, lovebirds. Oh, how I've missed you all. You should really come and check on me more often. Yeah, it's been a while. And it's been crazy, as always. But yeah. But I'm not going anywhere. I'm not stopping. Really, this comes down to y'all, because I'll keep recording, I will keep editing and doing all the hard work and getting these episodes posted. I just need more people to come out and tell their stories. So if you have a crazy, wild, awesome, scary, anything, dating story that you think would be fun to hear on the pod, reach out. We're still looking for people. I have nobody lined up after this, so there's people out there that I know I want you to get on and speak your stories and let me banter with you, but I have nobody locked in after this, so yeah, I'll wait on you. But yeah, it's been a crazy couple of months. I don't even know when I last posted. This episode was recorded a while ago. It took me a while to edit and get together because I created more hobbies, we'll call them. I don't even know what else to call it. It's a bunch of stuff that I just like to do, and I created more hobbies to do in my already chaotic life. And with that, I just never got around to this, per usual. And a lot of it has to come down to, I figured it out, a lot of it comes down to organization. If you're going to do anything good, you need to be organized about it. So even if you want to sell a t-shirt on OfferUp, you better be organized, because in 2-3 weeks when it actually wants to be sold, you got to be able to find it. So I've become a little bit more organized, a little. And with that being said, finally put this episode together. Y'all might recognize this guy's voice. He's very recognizable. But not by the name, I hope. This is a friend of mine that is going to be going by the name of Thick Papi. And I didn't come up with that, he did, so I don't know if that's not what you call him. It's not what I call him either, but yeah. I do hope you guys enjoy this episode. And again, if you want to reach out with your stories, please do so. There's tons of ways to get a hold of me. Just check the channel notes. And yeah, let's get this rolling. This is episode 6, and we are going to be calling it Who's Your Go-To Private Investigator? I hope you guys enjoy. All right. Are you excited? I think I asked you that.
A little bit. First podcast, of course.
First podcast? All right. So I have to introduce you, and we already talked about this. It's by an anonymous name, of course. What's your name going to be?
I think people might recognize my voice, but let's go with my stripper name.
Oh, God.
It's El Papi Huerso.
What does this mean?
The Thick Papi.
Oh, Jesus. Stripper name. How often are we stripping?
Just have to work, got to make ends meet in this economy.
Pretty much.
Hey, go support your single dads on the stripper pole.
Have you listened to the podcast before this one?
I never have. I didn't know about it until you mentioned it.
Okay, perfect. So the way this works is it's really flying off the seat of your pants. We do start it off with your name, and then Papi is the name.
The Thick Papi.
Oh, that one. And then then we go into dating stories, and apparently you have quite a few. So
yeah, I got a couple.
First and foremost, we always ask everybody, are you in a relationship? I kind of already know.
So just got out of a 2-year relationship a couple
What?
months
I didn't
ago.
know that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So like end of January, 2-year relationship ended.
Are you gonna get back on the dating scene?
And not right now, definitely not. A bunch of crazies out there.
You think so?
I know so.
You know so. That happens. That kind of makes it the fun part of though, like being able to experience some craziness. Like even at work, that's like my favorite customers are all the crazy ones.
No, I don't like the crazy ones because they always yell.
They yell. You get all the screaming chaos.
Yeah.
I could see that. So, let's see. Let's start it off. What I know you have some crazy stories, but what are they more like funny or
It depends on your. I have a very dark sense of humor, so to me they're funny. They can be some are pretty funny, some just whatever.
scared for this episode? Just so you know, never been. But let's see. What's your? Let's start off with your craziest story.
Craziest.
How would you describe it?
This was way back in the day. So I want to say I was maybe late teens, early 20s, but went on a date, friend of a friend. They hooked us up, and turns out this girl was from San Bernardino.
Oh no.
She had that San Bernardino in her. But so it was kind of like a double date. We're young, so we can't really do much. So we're deciding on what to do. And the whole time, like they drove up in another car.
It was in San Bernardino. You guys
No,
gone?
no, no.
Oh,
I think we went to go get dinner and then we went to go do something after. But if you're from the area, we went to this place called Jacob's Grave in the mountains. It's in like Mount, like toward going up towards Mount Baldy.
is
Have
this
you ever
a?
heard of it?
No, I haven't heard of this.
So real quickly, Jacob's Grave is there. When you go up towards Mount Baldy, there's two tunnels. So after you pass the second tunnel, it's like the first like turnout on the left hand side if you're going north. So when you park in the turnout, you go up this little hill and there's just this gravestone just on the side of the hill.
Interesting.
And the legend is the name on the gravestone is like Jacob Shinner or Shiner or something like that. But the legend is that somebody always puts fresh flowers there. So it's outlined, and one of the legends is if you step inside like the rocks that line the grave, he'll come down the hill after you.
And he's like an axe wielding ghost, probably.
Something like that. Yeah, that was the legend. So
Were there flowers there?
yes, so
Oh
there
man.
were flowers. There's every time I've been up there, there was always flowers there.
So I've gone through. There's a little turnout, and then you go through that underground tunnel. Is it near that?
An underground tunnel. I'm not too sure where that is.
It's like the same description, but maybe it's the first tunnel. Right after the first tunnel, there's a turnout, and if you're going up, it's to the left, and you walk down, and there's like a secret graffiti tunnel that just.
Oh yes, I have been there, but no, 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 it's a little different.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, but yeah, so the legend, the local legend was if you step in the graves, he'll come down the hill and come after you, like his spirit.
And did
Well,
you guys?
so yeah, so anyways, we got some beer and we drove up there, but me and my buddy drove in our car, and then our dates drove in their car. So they meet us up there, and we're drinking a little, and we showed them the grave. Well, the one girl from San Bernardino was just like, the whole time she was just annoying me. She was just going off like, "Oh, I kick it with these gangsters. I've been to prison. I'm blah blah blah." Like, she was just being so ghetto and annoying. And, "Oh yeah, I helped rob this old couple." And I'm like, "What the hell? Okay, you know what?
These are mighty bragging rights here.
Yeah." And she just kept going on and on. So I told my buddy, I was like, "Hey, hide behind the bushes over here." So we went up to the grave, and they were there. And the girl was like, "I don't know." The San Bernardino girl was like, "I'm a little scared. I'm gonna go down." So I'm like, "Oh, you're talking about going to prison and hanging with gangsters, but you can't handle one grave." She's like, "No, this is different." So she starts heading down. So I let both of them go ahead of me. Me and my buddy stay back. And so I told my buddy, "Hey, when I start yelling, just come running down." So, like, running down the little hill. So I let them get down a little bit more. And I run past him. "He's coming, he's coming. Oh my god, he's coming after us." They literally, I had a head start. They beat me. They beat me to their car, peeled out, and probably went like 90 miles an hour down this mountain, throwing everything at us. They were so scared. So we met up with them at this little grocery store down the mountain. Oh my god, their faces was just so white, and they were just so scared, and we were dying laughing. And she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get my buddies to come and drive by, and they're on their way right now," and blah blah blah. I'm like, "Okay."
Here it goes.
Uh, She was terrified, but I mean, that's probably a little mean, but it was funny at the time because she was pretty annoying.
I mean, you believe in ghosts, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
Do you think
I
that
do.
he followed you home anyways?
Nah.
He might have.
Who knows?
I've been to back in the day, the Queen Mary used to do their haunted thing.
Yeah, I think they still do, don't they?
I think they discontinued it recently. I don't know if they're gonna bring it back, but like, it's really awesome.
It's
It's an awesome one. But
yeah.
back in the day, they used to do way more things on the boat, like way more little adventures, and they had right in the center when you first enter downstairs there's like a dance floor and stuff, and they would let you inside the boat and just dance hall, and it was like mainly based out of inside the boat. Now at times like they always base all the mazes on the outside.
Yeah.
But yeah, they that year, me and my friend and we used to have this kid that he went to, what's the school that if you can't pass high school, you go to the other school?
Oh yeah. It's continuation, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was pretty cool. He didn't have a lot of friends, so he just kind of hung out with me all the time. We go, and you can't wear costumes, but we dressed up anyways. We didn't realize it was my first time, and we're dressed like fairies, and we're going to go pick up guys. Like that was the main intention. But we're in Long Beach. You're like none of the guys are attractive to us at all. It's all ghetto gangster. Everybody's freaking on the dance floor. I'm like, all right, this isn't our style. And all of a sudden, these like rocker dudes, they look like they could be in Good Charlotte, walk past us, and they're dressed like zombies. I was like, follow those guys. And this was the day where they opened up the boiler room, and they would have a band play in the boiler room like 2 times a night. And the
Oh,
band
nice.
was playing were the hot guys. So we sneak in, we cut line, we get in, and the whole time the drummer looks like my friend, like they could be twins. He's just a man, she's a girl. They're just like eyeballing each other the whole show. And afterwards, I'm like, all right, you gonna go talk to him or what? And she's starts hitting on him, and they invite us up on stage for their next show, and then they made us go out and like try to merch for them, try to sell. So we ended up getting a job merching when we went to go pick up dudes at the Queen Mary. But the cool thing is, behind the boiler room, they had this fenced off gate, and you weren't supposed to go back there, but we decided with the band, they're like, oh yeah, if you pull back the fence, it's like super haunted back there. So we go with two of the merch dudes that were actually merch dudes, and all we have is our freaking old school Razor phone flashlight and my friend's lighter, like just nothing, and it's all dark and super spooky. Like you can hear weird noises. We get back there and the floor's all broken. You have to cross this like big pipe, but we didn't go. But you could see this old glass elevator, and I don't know if they scared us, similar to your story, or if we heard actual stuff, but we just bolted out of there because we heard something, and it sounded like it was right behind us. And at the end of the night, they were like, oh yeah, you can come to our place, and we're down to the beach, we're gonna be rocking out, like you can come hang out. So we went, and for initiation, they oh, I can't even think of the name, where they throw flour all over you. Mummified? I don't remember.
I know what you're talking about, but
God, I wish
not lousing, but
they threw flour all of us. I think it's called mummifying or something to do with mummies, but they threw flour all over us. It was in our nostrils, my mouth, like. So I went out to my truck to get a change of clothes, and there were shadows following me. I think I took a ghost home that night.
oh,
It was pretty gnarly.
oh, oh.
But I
Break it
don't.
down.
He didn't come in my truck. He just kind of followed me through the shadow alleys.
Oh, a long, long time ago, I worked in Fontana, and I had some ghost stories from there. I saw one. I don't know what I seen, but to this day, I think it was a ghost. There's this place called the Tunnel, so it goes underground. They just call it the Tunnel, and
Can
it
anybody go?
connects. Is what?
Can anybody go into it?
Yeah, yeah, it's a connector, so it connect. I don't know if it's still there or not because I haven't been there in so long, but it used to connect the main hospital and then the building, and I think they tore that building down because it was just old and decrepit. And so instead of taking, because sometimes we would have to take patients for geriatric place, we'd have to take them to X-ray, so we take the tunnel to get to the main X-ray or hospital. But yeah, they say there's some ghosts in there. I never seen any there, but up in the surgery center, I saw one.
It's giving me Jeepers Creepers. No, is that his name? The Terrifier, the weird clown.
Art the Clown.
Ooh. All right, back to dating stories.
Yes.
What else you got for me?
Let's see. I have a funny one that, I mean, it's kind of mean, but it's kind of funny too.
I mean, we don't have to
Um,
say names.
no, no, no. I don't even remember her name, so.
Oh no.
But, but I
What
was
are
on
we?
Tinder. It was one of my first times on Tinder, so I see the Tinder pictures, and I'm like, okay, she's kind of cute, but why are they all like? Why is it only her face?
Only
So I didn't. Yeah, I didn't really think anything of it, but I was like, okay, she's cute. Let's go out on a date, fine. So we go to this bar in Upland, a brewery in Upland. It's Rescue Brewery.
okay.
So we meet up there, and when we meet up, I'm like, oh, you totally catfished me, you bitch.
Did you tell her?
No, I was just like, as soon as she walked up, I was like, oh yeah, I got catfished.
Did you hang out?
Yeah.
Did you make the best of
So
it?
yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm already dressed up. I'm already out. I'm just gonna let's go have a good time. Nothing's gonna happen. I didn't tell her that. I just was thinking that to myself. So yeah, we go in. We were talking. we get a flight of beer, and we're like, just talking and having a good time and bartender comes over and she's like, "Oh, you guys have like a lot of chemistry. Are you guys a couple?" I'm like, "No, I just met her like 10 minutes ago."
Oh
She's
no.
like, "Oh, you guys have really good chemistry." We're like, "Okay, whatever." Well, there was a dude. She was sitting to my right. We were at the bar, which she was sitting to my right, and there was another dude sitting to my left, and he was just hammered. He was really hammered, and so he would talk to me throughout the night, and I talked to him a little bit, but I was talking to her, and then she gets up. She's like, "Oh, I have to go use the bathroom." So she gets up and she walks off, and then I like glance to my left, and I'm talking to the dude, and he's like, his eyes are just straight on her, following her the whole way. And then he turns to me, he's like, "I love me some big bitches."
Oh no.
You are lucky. I'm like, me, and the bartender was like taking our glasses away, me and her dying laughing, and I was like, "Yeah, we're just friends. I just met her like today." Uh, and he's like, "Man, I wish I could take her home."
You set them up. You should have set them up.
Yeah, I was just whatever. But the bartender was laughing, so the bartender's like, "Are you guys like on a date?" I was like, "Well, yeah, kinda, but you kind of catfish me. I'm just here to have a good time." And she just started cracking up, and she gave me a free beer for it too.
Oh no.
But yeah,
Imagine,
that was a pretty funny one.
like, what if you had given the drunk guy her number, and then he could have pretended to be you and catfished her back?
I know, right? That
That
would have been
was
funny.
good.
I do. Oh man, I wish I would have done that now.
Poor guy. Did she? She didn't even act shady about it either. She just was catfish and proud.
Yeah, dude, yeah. It's like, okay, whatever.
I think
I was
that's
like,
so.
yeah. I had another similar one. I've been catfished so many times on Tinder, so I like kind of stopped.
I never because I did try Tinder way, 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 way back. I never had any luck meeting people off there. It was like impossible. And
Really?
yeah, yeah, I never.
I I met a couple people off of Tinder and Bumble, and I still talk to them to this day. Like I met a pretty good friend off
I
of
was
there.
for free food. That might have been it, but
Hey, I mean, I could
on
see that.
Tinder, Tinder's not for the free food. I don't think, but still trying.
Tinder's for the free STDs.
Yeah, I don't even remember who I would have talked to on there because no one ever wanted to meet up.
What?
Some of them are probably still like Snapchat friends. Cause that was the way to get your number. It was what's your snap instead.
Ah,
So a lot of people catfish you. Is it because you just whoever connects, you just go and hang out with them?
I just, no, there's a lot of people I'm like, peace out. If they're like, "Oh yeah, let's go eat at this vegan restaurant," swipe left.
Vegan restaurant, you won't go.
I'm just kidding. I've eaten at vegan restaurants.
I just think catfishing is so cool. Like they have to know that they're putting up fake photos, and then to be brave enough to meet somebody and play it off like nothing's wrong is just awesome. I don't know.
It's so weird. Like the
It,
second one I got catfish, the pictures on her profile were from like, you got like that upward angle where you're taking like the selfie from up and but no body. And then you got the one where you're like in the sun, not even in the sun, you're kind of like just ahead in the sun, the sunset or something like that. Or she put up photos where she was like far away. like so you could barely see the silhouette, but she's like really far away, and so I was like, okay, well, I mean, she has a pretty face. Let's go.
What if, like, I wonder how it is now with AI stuff.
Oh, I don't even know now. Shoot, now that's scary.
Did you have a Harry Potter story, or did I have the Harry Potter story? I think
Um, well, no, I'm just a Harry Potter fan, but I did go to Harry Potter Land on a date.
you did.
Well, I mean, it was me and my girl, the girl that I was seeing, my most recent ex.
Did you guys get wasted off butterbeer?
We didn't have the alcoholic one. It was
Yeah.
just a freaking sugar loaded one.
Oh, you didn't have the alcoholic one.
Uh-uh.
Oh man, you missed out. Missed out.
But we did we took a random road trip up the one.
Mhm.
This was a couple years ago. We took a random road trip up the one and we ended up in Sacramento. And we went to the minor league park there, the Sacramento, I think it's the River Dogs or River Cats or one of those.
Something
But
in
they
the.
had Harry Potter night.
Oh.
So everybody was dressed in like, or not everybody, but a lot of people were dressed in like wizards and witches and stuff. And their featured drink was butterbeer. But yeah, so we had a couple of those.
And you dress up too? I'm just
No, because I was looking for a cape, but they were selling any Harry Potter stuff. I would have. Shoot.
one day you should wear all Harry Potter stuff. Just roll in. When you go to Universal to Harry Potter Land, do you buy the cape and the wand and all that?
I may or may not have a wand of my own with the thick poppy inscribed on it.
Yes. When I first went to Harry Potter Land, this guy that I had met him snorkeling down in San Diego a bunch of times and didn't tell me much about himself. He just kind of was like, "Oh yeah, I'm single." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And like I would go down and I'd snorkel and I'd text him. And one day he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to Universal. Do you want to go?" And I was like, "Oh, let's see. Like, how much is it?" I went and bought the year pass at Costco because it was cheaper.
Oh yeah.
I don't like I don't know how I convinced him. He picked me up even though he lives in San Diego and I was living in Buena Park at the time. He picks me up and we go into Universal and just checking out through the rides, and it's early. I think we rode one ride and then I was like, we should go to Saddle Ranch
Froze up.
because they have the bottomless mimosas. And if you drink really fast, you can keep it consistent where you're getting a new drink every like 5 minutes or something. So I convinced him, and he was like not about it too, because he's all, I have to drive back to San Diego. I'm like, it's fine. I'll stay awake and I'll kind of like talk to you until you get at least to my house, and then if you need to talk more like on your way home, I'll call you. So homeboy, we go to Saddle Ranch. We get the brunch, bottomless mimosas. And legit, it's like, because you can do the different flavors. They have not just orange juice and champagne, it's like apple juice and cranberry juice and all kinds of weird concoctions. It's really good. And you go up and down the list, like as many times as you can do it, because you only have 2 hours. So you have to be really, really fast. And they have the Bloody Marys too, and they have like 4 or 5 different flavors of that. So we're just going up and down the menu. And we go back in the park and it's our Harry Potter time. Like we have the little fast pass to go to Harry Potter. And we start heading back and I remember stopping and getting the butter beer with the shot of like Jack Daniels or whatever it had in it. I was wasted. We were on the Harry Potter ride and the whole time I'm like, please don't puke. Please don't puke. Like it's horrible. Like flying through the castle, dying. And then afterwards, I mean, I don't remember a whole lot. I remember that. I remember seeing Frankenstein, but I don't remember a lot after. So then we go to leave, and he said the next day, he said, I got in the car, reclined the seat, and just started snoring. I didn't keep him up at all. Like, just, all right, you're driving. Good night. And then the next day, I found all these photos of just me dancing with Frankenstein and posing all over the place, just wasted beyond belief. And I didn't feel bad about it because he kind of catfished me in the sense that later on I found out he had kids, and that's kind of why he like only hung out with me certain times. He never wanted to tell me he had kids. It was really weird. But I did use him that one time for a ride to get wasted in Universal.
Hey, I do have one question though.
What?
Were you wearing your Croc boots when you were dancing out there?
You know what? Back in the day, before recent back issues, I always wore wedges. Always. Always, always, always. So in those photos where I'm dancing with Frankenstein, I got like shorts and a summer outfit, but wedges. Wedges in Universal. That's how I rocked.
Oh.
I don't know. They were more comfortable back in the day, but now it's all about the Crocs.
I'm telling you, I don't think I've ever seen you. Oh no, there was one time I saw you in shoes.
One time?
It was raining, so you're like, I didn't want to get my feet wet.
That's what I was going to ask. Was it raining?
Yeah.
Even today, I wore a really nice outfit and just Crocs. I don't think my coworkers were super ecstatic.
I hate Crocs.
So you have kids though. Do they
I
like
have adults.
But do they like Crocs?
So my younger daughter, I raised her right. She hates Crocs. She thinks they're the ugliest thing.
Raised her
My
right.
older daughter has a Croc sandals with like the two straps, but that's it. She doesn't have other types of Crocs.
They just launched a new one. It's a mega cush, so it's got the mega platform to it, but it has 3 straps and they go over the top of the foot, not behind the back. So it's not very crocolic, but it's still a croc.
Hey, you can't put it in sport mode.
Can't put it in sport mode.
I don't think you really need to buy those anyway.
If you went on a, because people wear them all the time now. Like if you went on a date and a girl looked
Nope.
like Kim Kardashian,
Answer's nope.
but she was wearing Crocs, the
Nope.
fluffy ones. Would be like,
Okay,
no,
maybe.
this is a catfish.
Okay, maybe because I take it off and just put it in her mouth so she didn't have to talk. And then I'd slap her with the other Croc.
Yeah. Abuse, Croc abuse.
Let's see. Bad ones.
Bad dates, yeah.
So random one. I think it was in my mid-20s. I played baseball up until I was like 30. I think I stopped playing when I was like 31 or 32. But every Memorial Day, we had a tournament in Vegas. I think this was Saturday night, so I had 2 games in the middle of the day. I was a catcher, so I caught both of those games, and I think it was like 100 degrees outside almost, like 95 to 100 degrees. And then me being in my mid-20s, I didn't know anything about hydrating properly. One of my teammates, he brought his girlfriend, to the tournament, and she brought her friend. And so, we had been talking the whole time, like, but she was at the games and cheering for us. And I would talk to her like in between the games. And so we got along good. So we are like talking the whole night and, getting to know each other. And then later on that night, we start getting the business. And all of a sudden, my nose explodes all over her. It looked like a crime scene. My nose just started bleeding so bad. it got all over her face, all over her dress, just everywhere. I was just pouring blood out because I was so dehydrated. And my nose just like cracked. Oh my God, it was so embarrassing. And she was just like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you did that." And it was just, I was like, "Yeah, okay, I'm just going home now." There's no need to explain. I literally just grabbed my stuff and then walked out. I
Really?
was
You
like,
didn't.
"This is done." It was that bad of a bloody nose because it was from both nostrils. Like I was like, "Oh my God, what is going on here?"
Did you get it all over your jersey, or so you have
No,
to
so we
like?
had actually went to dinner that night. So I think I was in a nice shirt, like a, I don't know if it was a polo or button up, but I was in like, dressed up to go out. I think we were gonna go out to a bar or a club or something later.
Did your friend judge you after?
Oh, probably. Yeah, because we had a game the next day, but I didn't see her there.
Oh no. I just see if you do something like that, there's no saving it, right? Like,
I honestly, because at that point, like, what am I gonna do? My nose was literally dripping, just dripping all over her. It was just everywhere. So I was just like, yeah. I mean, yeah,
carry.
like,
They do a singles night at like the Angel Stadium. I remember I went one time when I worked at Oakley. One of my friends, I think she only used me when like none of her other friends wanted to go, because I'm not a girl's girl. I just kind of, it works if you need someone to be your wing woman. But I was like the backup invite, I think. Like most of her friends were always dating and she was single, so she dragged me along. But I'm really horrible at picking people up. I get really excited and then I like get really clumsy. So I remember we went and I just gotten new wedges. They were like Jeffrey Campbell, massive. They're, I don't know if they're full wood. Like they, each of them probably weighs like 5 pounds.
uh,
And we went to the Angel singles night, and I just remember we're walking around and she's like in love with half of the guys there because they all look like baseball players, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't really interested. I have a really weird taste too in men, and so we're walking to the car, and I remember finally seeing this hot guy, and so I tried to do a pickup line, and before I could even get it out of my mouth, my wedges twisted on my feet and collapsed to the ground. My knee was
oh
all
my
bloody.
God.
And the guy that I was trying to hit on turned around and was like, "Man, are you okay?" I couldn't even talk to him at that point. It was kind of the same situation. Like I just that. But I get that way. I get really like excited, and I have when I have a really good pickup line to use, and I don't even remember which one I was going to use, and I just completely klutzed out. It's pretty cool though. And maybe that's why she doesn't invite me. I don't know. If you're listening, I'm still pretty cool to hang out with. uh I saw her recently and she's balding and she's younger than me, which is gnarly to me. I don't know like if guys notice stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Caveat, I'm a little bit of a pretty boy, so I do look at hair and I could tell when it's thinning or if you ain't shampooed your hair in a week or two.
You stink.
I do judge a little bit.
Have you ever been on a date with like a stinky girl?
Um, yes, but it wasn't because she didn't shower. It was because something was wrong with her.
Just stunk?
Her pH,
Oh no, it's off.
her chemistry was off. Mm.
There's stinky girls out there. Like you're like I went to the mountains the other day and
Oh,
skiing and like I stood next to a girl in line to get onto the lift, and it's like homegirl just stunk
No,
like eggs or
I
something.
forgot. So remember when you first told me about your podcast, how you'd have like a dating podcast? I totally forgot about that date until right now.
This is
Yes.
trigger warnings. Trigger warning.
Oh, so a friend of a friend. So I would talk to her once in a while just because it was my friend's sister actually.
Gotcha.
And she would always be around. And so I would talk to her once in a while and I'm like, oh, she's a cutie. And I always thought she was like really cool because she was very athletic. She played Division 1 and softball. So I was like, I've always been attracted to like athletic girls. And so I would always talk to her. I was like, oh yeah, she's a cutie. But then like a couple years later, I ran into her and I was talking to her and I was like, she's like, hey, let's go out. Like, so I was like, okay. So we went to this bar. Is it Goodfellas? I think it's called in Rancho.
Sounds familiar.
It's on Foothill and Haven. But anyway, so of course, being going from like being a Division 1 athlete and a couple years later where you don't really exercise at all anymore, she gained a little bit of weight, which hey, that's fine. I like a little thickums because I knew her. But I mean, hey, big girls need love too. I got a personal motto I live by. You ain't 220, you ain't my honey. You ain't 280, you ain't my lady.
Oh, does it get bigger?
But anyway, so she's like, yeah, come meet me and my friend. We're at Goodfellas. So I was like, okay, let's go get a drink. I'm cool with that. Well, I mean, you know me, I like to dress up. I like to, I think I got a decent fashion sense, so I dress up a little bit. This girl showed up with like stains on her shirt. It was skin tight and some skinny jeans.
Yes.
So of
She's
course, muffin top was hanging over, but hey, I like muffins, so it's all right. But she's wearing green lipstick.
what?
Yeah,
She's from San Bernardino for sure.
Fontana, but close.
Green lip. Where do you even get that?
I don't know, but it was like,
Is it in October?
no, this was like, I think it was the summer.
Oh no.
And so her and her friend are at this bar and they're drinking, but when I show up, that's what she's dressed in. It looked like she literally just got off of work or something.
Like that?
She was wearing,
Where does she
yeah.
work?
She was a waitress, but I think she like quickly did her makeup and didn't shower, so she did have a little like sweat, like that sweat smell to her.
Mm-hmm.
She was wearing like green. It was like a dark green lipstick, so it looked almost like black greenish. And
Strange.
her breath stank like she ate the garbage man's asshole.
Oh no.
It stunk so bad to where I was just like, hell no, girl. Like, and then, oh God. And then she kept like hugging up on me, trying to kiss me. I'm like, no, 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 no.
Oh
I don't
no.
kiss on the first date. Oh my God. It was so bad. And then she smoked too. So it smelled like bad breath, beer, and cigarettes.
Hmm.
It was just like, okay, no. It was like, it ruined me forever.
I've tried to date a guy that had like halitosis for life.
Oh,
He was a nice kid, but yeah, I couldn't do it. It
it,
was
it's
it's too much.
it's a turn off.
Yeah. I like doing concerts on New Year's Eve. It's really fun. I think it's a great way to like bring in the new year, celebrate. You're not dealing with chaos, crazy people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to Capital Cities on New Year's Eve, and it was such a good show. But I was with halitosis man, and it was like when the ball dropped, I didn't want to kiss him. No, no
Oh,
diet.
heck no. No.
Give us a popper or a little kazoo thing you blow. Be happy.
But we did
You,
go to a strip club after the bar.
you did?
Yes.
Was it her first? It was yours.
No. No, I hate. Okay, I hate going to strip clubs. I'm sorry. I for one, the girls there usually aren't that pretty. And two, I don't want to give you my money for nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's bisexual, so she wanted to go. I swear to God, it was her idea. So of course, I have to tag along to see this.
I had to make her happy.
God,
Did she hit on with
that's
who was there with you?
oh yeah, she got one of the strippers' numbers.
Wow.
I bought her a lap dance, and she got the stripper's number.
And the stripper, it was the real number. The stripper didn't mind the halitosis.
Oh, I don't know.
Mm.
I never talked to her. I think I talked to her once after that. I never asked.
I used to have a friend, and I don't know. He's questionable. I would, I would call him gay, but he doesn't consider himself gay. I don't know what the standards are on that with guys. For me,
Who
like,
knows?
you're doing anything with a guy, you're probably bi or gay, but he didn't consider himself gay at all. Only would date strippers. And I'm not a
Eh,
stripper, so he was really hot. I used to hang out with him all the time, but he it was very confusing because I know he was doing stuff with guys and he wouldn't admit that he was gay. Boy would try to drag me to strip clubs because he felt like it was disarming to have a girl there. But then he would like I'd just be sitting there and he'd be full on, like way too intense with the women anyways. I'm like, I don't know if that's disarming or if I'm just
that's
here because you
that's just
thought,
weird.
but it didn't work. Just like the time that I've been to a female strip club. It was really weird. It was really weird.
I
It's down.
tried to go to one. My girlfriend tried to get me to go to one, but we totally forgot about it because it started raining, so we were just like we were in Ensenada.
That would have been interesting, I'm sure.
There was it was a male strip club, and she was like, "Come on, let's go." I was like, "Fuck
Oh,
it, let's go." But
you should have.
yeah,
So
it started like pouring down rain, and we were hungry, so we just went to go eat instead.
I went to Canada. I did a half marathon there in Montreal, and I was traveling by myself. So while I was there, I was like, oh, let me book some tours. Like I did a food tour. I had to carb up anyway, so I'll just do a food tour and eat before the race. And I'm doing the food tour alone, and there's a group of guys that are there for their bachelor party, and they're like, "Oh, you should do the beer or drink tour after." I don't think it was just beer. I think it was cocktails too, but I might be wrong. You should do the alcohol tour with us after. And so I'm like, oh, I'll see. And they're like, yeah, you have to join our group. Like it was a really fun food tour group. We had a bunch of people that in turn did add the alcohol tour and joined us. But I got added to it. I show up and it's like the bachelor guys and then the other people from the food tour. There was like 4 other people from the food tour that show up. And super fun. So the bachelor guys, they tell me afterwards they're gonna go eat dinner and go to karaoke, and if I want to come, like go ahead, like walking around town all day and I gotta get ready if we're gonna go out like clubbing and things like that. And the guy's like, oh yeah, I'll drive you. So I get a ride from these random Quebec guys to my hotel. The guy waits outside while I shower, get ready, get back to them. They go back to the little Airbnb they're staying at, and everybody's drinking there and taking way too long. they had dinner reservations and taking way too long. So we missed our dinner reservations. We had to jump into something else that wasn't in the plans. And karaoke, we missed karaoke. So then they're like, well, we're just going to go to the strip club. Okay, I think I'll go home because I have my race in the morning. No, you have to go. Just go for like an hour. We'll give you a ride home after. And I had never been to a female strip club. I think that this is my first strip club ever, to be honest. And in Canada, it's way more extreme. There was girls doing stuff with girls. They undressed the man and got him on the stage and was like humping all over him, completely naked too. Like their strip clubs, they get completely naked. And it was pretty gnarly. And when I did try to leave, the one guy that was like married and really didn't want to be there was like, all right, I'll give you a ride. And he's like, what did you think of it? And I was like, it's kind of intense. Is that how all the strip clubs are? And he's like, I don't think that's how they are in the US. Like, I don't think they get away with half of the stuff that was going on down there. So Ensenada probably would have been pretty gnarly, but I'm probably still traumatized from it. And then when I went to the one in Anaheim, I was like, oh, this is toned down, but I still feel very uncomfortable.
Oh,
I don't know what could happen next.
oh my God. I have a little funny story about the strip club in Anaheim. Was it Fritz That's Two?
I want to say it's the one that's like off Catella. I
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
the
called that's Fritz That's Two.
maybe it is Fritz. Yeah, it's got a weird old school sign, neon sign.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I went to a bachelor party there. So I used to ride a motorcycle for like 10 years. And my buddy called me. It was like, hey, my brother-in-law's having a bachelor party. Come on down. I'm like, okay, cool. Where's it at? He's like, at this club called Fritz That's Two. I was like, oh, I know exactly where that's at. I'll be there. So I ride my motorcycle from Ontario to Anaheim. And while I'm on the freeway, I'm like, I could feel like the back fishtailing a little. I'm like, that's weird. Don't think anything of it. So when I get to the club, I pull in, I find a parking spot. So I pull into it. The bouncer's like, hey, he like walks up to me. He's like, hey, don't park there. I'm like, where do I park at? He's like, no, bring it over here. He's like, no, you can leave your bike in the front. He's like, that way I can keep an eye on it too. So I was like, all right, cool. So I park it up by like kind of like along the wall. It's not even a parking spot, just to save the other parking, this parking spots for the cars.
Yeah.
And so I just locked my helmet onto the back of the bike, but I had my jacket on. I had my motorcycle jacket on. And so I go into the club. I'm with the bachelor party, and they're getting rowdy, of course. But I have this girl come up to me. She's like, "Hey, cutie, do you ride a motorcycle?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah. Of course I do. Yeah, you want to go see it?" She's like, "Oh, no, I just wanted to let you know your back tire's flat." Oh my God, I was like, I thought I was cute. Thought she was hitting on me. I thought I was cool because I rode a motorcycle.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it was because I had a flat ass back tire, so I had to walk my happy ass down to the AMPM to go get a tire kit and then come back and fill it up. Oh God. And it sucked too because all the bachelor parties, they were like, come on, let's go to this bar. I was like, man, fuck you guys. I hate you.
What kind of motorcycle was it?
I rode a '07 Honda CBR 600. That was my second bike.
Do you ever see those people? It's like the crotch rockets, and they just got this mega girl on the back.
Like a big girl on the back?
Yeah.
I have seen some of them, yeah.
I don't know how they get on or stay on.
Eh, yeah. The thing too is I'm a big dude. But back then I wasn't as big. And as I said before, I like them a little thick. So every time they got on the back of my bike, it wouldn't really go.
No.
Because I had a small cylinder. I only had a 600, so it wasn't that powerful, and so it wouldn't. There was no like get up to it. It was just kind of like slow and clunky. Anytime I had a big girl on the back.
Dangerous.
Yeah, it actually kind of is because I didn't have the maneuverability to get out of the way.
Have you ever been scared to date? Like,
Personally, not scared, but I know I did. I did scare one of my dates. Actually, I still talk to her. I met her on it was another Tinder date, and we had been talking, and she's like, "Hey, can you just send me a photo?" So I'm like, not thinking anything of it, and I send her a photo, and then we get there, we meet up and we start talking, and halfway through, her phone rings, and she answers. She's like, "Oh no, no, everything's good. Like, don't worry about it." And then she hung up, and I was like, "Was that your getaway call?" And she was like, "Kinda, yeah." And then we started talking more, but I didn't think about it until like later on. Like I was asking her more, and she was like, "No, the reason I had you send a picture was because I sent your picture to my friend and I gave her your number. So, and I let him know exactly where we were going to be and all that." And I was like, I was so confused, 'cause I was like, "Why would you do that?" And she's like, "I don't know you." And I
she
was
was
like, "Oh," like it never dawned on me, like it never clicked on me where, it's like, "Oh yeah." Because, like I'm a nice dude and I would never do anything intentionally to hurt somebody like that. But they don't know that. And
Yeah.
it never dawned on me that like, oh yeah, I'm a complete stranger to her. She has no idea who I am.
No, it's definitely gnarly these days. Like, I remember I picked up like an OfferUp cycle yeah, not too long ago, and I told my mom, okay, I'm meeting these guys inside of a storage unit area, like to go pick up this bike. If you don't hear from me
Yeah,
in 15 minutes, call the police. Here's my location. I mean, they were cool. I survived, but it's like
still.
you never know.
It is scary. I'm pretty sure I got roofied.
What? Oh man,
Yeah.
story. Even though you probably don't remember all of it.
So like it was my most recent ex, like this was a couple years ago, like I want to say 2021. We had just started dating, but we went out to Santa Monica. We ended up we went to Barney's first on Third Street Promenade. We had a drink there. There was literally three people in there. Me, my girlfriend, and the bartender. So we were like, we had one like beer, and then we took off. And so we ended up at that Irish pub. And we find it. They didn't really have a whole lot. They ran out of Guinness, so of course I got a Blue Moon. I was like, oh, I haven't had a Blue Moon in a minute. So I got me a Blue Moon, and then she was like, oh, I'll get a Blue Moon too. And so we sit down at this table. There's this dude sitting next to me, like my girlfriend's sitting on my left, and this dude's sitting on my right, and he has his own table. And I start talking to him, and I'm talking to him throughout too. Turns out he was a bar coke dealer.
Oh,
He kept like
fancy.
every time, yeah, yeah, sketchy. Every time he would get up, like he would go to the bathroom, but he put like a beer coaster over his beer, and then he put something else on top, or salt or something. He would put something on top, and then he'd get up and go to the bathroom. Well, he kept getting up and go to the bathroom, and I'm like, why is this dude going to the bathroom like so much? Like, dude's had like two beers, and then finally, like at the end of the night, I was like, oh, you sling coke? And he was like, yeah, yeah, you want some? Anyway, so like he was really cool, and I was talking to him. I want to say me and my girlfriend probably had maybe that night. I think we had a beer at Barney, one beer at Barney's, and then we had maybe three Blue Moons at the bar each. Blue Moons, I mean, I'm a big dude. Those things they don't affect me that much. They're not very like alcohol concentrated. Like they're not very big, you
And
know.
it's just kind of low.
Yeah, it's just like a regular beer.
More orange slices than anything.
Yeah, yeah. And it was like maybe three or four each, which is not a lot. And it was spaced out in the span of like 4 or 5 hours. So it's not like we were pounding them. When we got up to go, like, the bar had closed. And so we're leaving. I had parked by the mall at in Santa Monica. So it was a little bit of a walk. And he kept talking to me and following us. And then like I glanced over at his phone and he was texting. And so like I was like, who the hell is he texting? He's texting, talking and talking to me and walking at the same time. So I'm like, that's a little sketch. And this whole time I'm like, God damn, I'm drunk as hell. Like I didn't drink that much. And I even like turned to my girl and I was like, how much did we drink? And she was like, not that much. Like I think you had three or four beers. And she's like, yeah, but I'm really drunk too. She used to be a bartender, so she would drink a lot too.
Yeah. So he
And
roofied
so
you guys?
I think so. And then he kept texting this dude, and I finally looked, and it said like the plug on like who he was texting. Like this fool's texting his dealer. And then we kept walking, and he kept following. I'm like, he's like, oh, where you parked at? Where you parked at? And I kept saying, oh, somewhere over there, somewhere over there. Like, and then I started like, getting it. And I was like, you know what? Something's off. And I was like, they pretended I was like, shit, I forgot to close out my tab. All right, I'll talk to you later. And he was like, no, 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 I'll walk with you to your car. I was like, no, I got to go get my card. I left my card there. I need it. He's like, oh, don't worry, you can come back tomorrow. And I'm like, no, 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 I don't live around here. I'm gonna go get my card. I'll talk to you later. He's like, no, no, I'll go with you. I was like, don't worry about it, dude. And then he kept like insisting on following us. And the whole time, my girlfriend's like, she's getting like drunker and drunker. Finally, like on the way home, we're just so out of it. Like, to where I had to pull over and like sleep it off a little. I was like, there's no way I'm this drunk. It was just like, and I didn't think about it. I didn't tell her anything because I didn't want to scare her. But the next day I was like, hey, I think we were roofied. And she just
Right.
got all freaked out, like crazy.
He probably wanted to steal your car, right?
That's what I'm thinking, or just
Ho-
rob us or something.
Hopefully, just steal your car.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because he kept following, like, and I'm like, dude, like, that's a little weird. Like, that's a little sketch. Like, everybody else is going one way, you're following me this way.
Is
And then he
roofing
was
people legal?
legal? No,
It's not.
no, that's an illegal drug.
I can't tell my story.
Did you roofie somebody?
Kinda, but not with roofie. There was a guy at Heroes that was bugging on us, and we would not leave us alone. And I remember my mom at the time, she had laxatives or something that she needed, and I had them with
Oh
me,
my God.
and I put one in his drink. It was like foaming and stuff, so I had to stir it, and like I had to mix my beer into it to kind of make it like mellow.
Oh,
But yeah, the
have you seen that, or have you read that book from back in the day? It's called what is it? It's by Tucker Max. It's I hope they serve beer in hell.
no, you're
Have
good.
you heard of this book?
No,
So it's this book. It's by Tucker Max, but it's called I hope they serve beer in hell. And they made a movie out of it too, like out of his book. It starred, I think Jesse Bradford is one of the stars in it. But Anyway, Tucker Max is like the ultimate early 2000s douchebag. So literally, he's like very intelligent. He was in Duke Law School. So this is the early age of internet. So he put up a website for a dating application to date him. So people would just fill it out and he'd go out on dates with them. Basically, he's just a douchebag to women and just sleeps around with a lot of women, just gets drunk and does crazy stuff. But that was one of his things. Like one of the girls got pissed off at him and put laxatives in his drink,
Oh no. And you drink it all.
and then he drank it all.
Yeah, so did
So
that.
his sequel to I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell, his sequel book is called Hilarity Ensues. So after those laxatives in his beer, hilarity ensued.
Maybe it was me. No, I'm just kidding.
It was, I think he said Austin, Texas.
I thought that they might work like really, really quick too, and that's why I did it. Because I figured like, oh, if these work really fast, then he'll go away. And Homeboy still didn't go away for like a while, and we finally escaped. So I didn't even get to see the outcome of the disaster. I think it was
Oh
like
man.
21 though, 22. I was at Heroes in downtown Fullerton and just
Yeah, I've been
college
there.
douchery.
Yep.
Wouldn't go away. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't file a lawsuit against me one day.
Yeah, gotta prove it.
Any advice for people that are dating?
Ooh. What do I know about advice? I'm not married.
Don't catfish. Brush your
Let's
teeth.
see. Don't catfish. Make sure you're clean, hygienic. Your pH is balanced down there, girls. Uh, Men, I actually do. Pickup lines work.
But do they have to be good or cheesy?
Either, as long as you get them talking to you. If you can make them laugh, that's your in. I've gotten a lot of dates just like making a girl laugh.
I think the cheesier the better.
Yeah. I, so I'll tell you the one I used the other day, and I actually got the girl's number, but I never called her.
Are you gonna call her?
No.
Why not?
I don't feel like I don't feel like dating right now.
All right, what was the
But
line?
so I was with my buddy at a bar, and the girl to my right, like my buddy was on my left. I was talking to this random girl that showed up on my right. I was just talking to her a little, and I was like, "Excuse me, do you own a hot dog cart?" She looks at me. She's like, "Why?" It's because you already know how to make a weenie stand.
Oh no. No.
Yeah,
Did you try to
mm,
act serious?
yeah. I was serious with her, and she just started busting up, and that was just my opening. Like, I did end up getting her number.
Did your friend laugh?
No, he was laughing.
Typical. Typical.
He was laughing too. Oh, I got a bunch of pickup lines. Let's
Is that your
see.
number one? What's your number one pickup line?
Depending on the situation.
My number one's like about boogers, and that's my
Yeah.
number one.
I say one that works the most is I'm not a weatherman, but you could expect a couple inches tonight.
Oh no. Are all of yours just raunchy?
So, yeah.
Where
Excuse
did
me,
you
miss.
get these
Are
from,
you
a
a
book?
washing machine? No. Just around.
Oh no.
Are you a washing machine? I got a dirty load for you.
Oh no. Where did you get? Is it
It's
from
a
the
little
book?
secret to my repertoire.
It was from the book,
What book?
the Tucker one.
No. Wait, is there pickup lines in that one? I gotta reread that. That thing is so funny.
You've been great. I think you should go on dates so that we can bring you back on.
Maybe. Don't know
Just go on
yet.
weird ones. It's fun.
Let's see. Where would I take her?
Pick up like a homeless person and just take her out.
Oh, okay. No. I'm good on that.
I don't know how people even date nowadays. I mean, but when you first started dating, was it through the internet or did you have to like talk to them in person?
Usually I talk to them in person. My last girlfriend I actually worked with, so we had a shitty first date. I'm surprised it even lasted. I mean, I did date a couple off of off of Tinder, off of Bumble, but that was a couple years ago. So
Do
I've been
people
out of the dating
do
scene.
that?
I have no idea. I haven't been on those in 2.5, 3 years.
I wonder if that's still the thing.
I'm sure it is.
Everybody's still rolling on Tinder, swiping.
I have no idea. I I did go on a date from eHarmony. Like when I first started dating online,
Mm-hmm.
it was like, oh, let me sign up for eHarmony. I don't know, that's like the most popular one.
To pay for eHarmony, right?
It was so long ago. I think I maybe paid like $10 or $15. I honestly don't remember. Yeah, that girl was weird.
I feel like people that meet on eHarmony, when you hear their stories, they actually get married from eHarmony. Like that's the marry one.
Eh, not for that one. That girl had so much baggage and drama, and I was like, oh no.
Not your cup of tea.
No. She actually, like, we went on like 2 or 3 dates, and I was like, okay, she's cool. And then she started getting weirder and weirder. And then next thing I know, she was like, oh, I had a private investigator follow you. I'm like, what the fuck?
What?
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
think that's smart of her with you, but
Yes, like, I mean, but yeah, thanks for that compliment.
face. Like even Jeffrey Dahmer or there was that one guy that used to put like kill kits all across the US. You didn't know where he was gonna rise up. I mean, he probably had a Tinder or an eHarmony at one point. Never know.
Um, I, I mean, yeah, I have heard horror stories about that.
You don't want to be in those situations. So doing a
But
private,
yeah,
but where do you get a private investigator? My uncle's one, but I don't know where you would get.
I have no idea. And she tried to trick me with it too. She was like, "Oh, have you ever been arrested? Have you ever done this? Have you ever done this?" I'm like, "Why are you asking all these questions?" And then it came out.
She was trying to catch you lying too.
She was trying to catch me lying. Like,
Oh
"Oh, you ever been in jail?" And I'm like, "What the hell? Like,
no.
what kind of question is that?" I mean, I get it. She had a disabled child. She had a Yeah, her son had like a bunch of problems. He had a cerebral palsy, like he was just like mute, like he was nonverbal, and he was just really bad. And he's like, well, if we're gonna get married, then I need to know exactly who I'm gonna marry. I'm like, girl, this is the third date. Like, you need to chillax. I was I was really pissed at first, but then I was like, nah, I get it.
She wasted her money. She didn't find out anything cool, probably.
I mean, she found out I was in jail, but that's something different.
She didn't get any of your.
It was nothing juicy.
Yeah.
I kind of everything's out in the open with me. I don't hide.
I think there's a website now. You pay for it, and then you can. I think it's called Verify Me or something. I've seen it on Instagram where you can you sign up, and it's like, remember how you used to rate your professor,
Yeah.
like Glassdoor, rate your job or whatever? I think it's like that. I haven't looked into it much, but
Huh.
it checks to make sure the guy's legit, and if you have a bad experience with the guy, you're supposed to go on there and log it, and I don't know. It's pretty gnarly. Verify Me.
Okay.
Right? Like, this guy is horrible. Didn't tip the waitress enough. Like, I don't know what
He
you
is
would.
not worth the 2 inches.
Yeah. Could you imagine, like, what people write on that with the way they Yelp review people?
The food tasted good, but
Right? Service stuff.
the service sucked, but the food tasted good.
People should
Oh,
do their research, but maybe, like, don't go to the extent of a private investigator.
yeah, that's a little weird, but oh well. There was nothing juicy for her to find out. So anyway, so
What's your go-to for taking someone on a date? Is it restaurant or bar or?
um, not a bar. I don't. It all depends on the person and like what we talk about. So like, let me tell you about the best date I've been on since we talked about the bad dates.
Oh yeah.
So one of the best dates I've been on, it was this was a long, long time ago. Not a long, long time ago, but we had known each other for a while and we finally decided to go out. And so I took her to downtown Disney. This was when it was like first opened and not like first open, but like, it's still pretty new. And so we walked we walked around downtown Disney and then we ate at the restaurant. I don't know the name because I haven't been in there in a while, but we sat on the patio and we had our dinner on the patio. And as we're having dinner, like the fireworks are going off. So we were able to see the fireworks from downtown Disney. And then we went over, like we just talked. We went to ESPN Zone because it was there at the time. Had
Yeah.
some drinks there. Went to the movies, and then I think we went to a bar after. But it was just like a really, really cool night where it was just like everything like clicked in a row, and we were able to just like have a good first date.
That's like a
And
whole
then
date though.
yeah, it was actually really, really cool.
I could never commit that long.
And
Always
and
had.
then and then she got married the next day.
Yeah. Did she?
So
Oh no.
she had broken up with her boyfriend, her longtime boyfriend, and they had been broken up for like 2 months or something. And finally, I convinced her to go on a date, and so we go on that date Saturday night. I think Sunday night or Monday morning or something. I see her, and she was like, "Oh, I got back with my boyfriend. We got engaged." I'm like, "What the fuck? Are you serious?" She's like, "Yeah, we made up last night, and he asked me to marry him." They're still married to this day, though.
That's kind of cool.
I
Sometimes
was like,
you need to like escape the person and like have a, maybe it was awesome for her too, but at the same time it kind of like makes you think, oh shoot, I miss my relationship still.
I did talk to her like even after she got married because and I talked to her one time and she was like, that's still one of the best dates I've ever been on. It was our date, and she remembered the whole thing. So I was like, well, at least I left a lasting memory. Like, that was pretty cool.
Good
But
thing. You ever see that movie Good Luck Chuck?
I love that movie. I swear that's me.
I felt like that was my life too, because every guy that I would go on a date, like shortly after, he'd end up engaged or married, and I was like, oh, cool. They didn't like you anyway.
After I broke up with my baby mama, the next dude she got with, she married.
It's crazy.
My other fiance, as soon as she broke up with, actually, I dated somebody before her. The next guy she dated, they got engaged within 6 months, and I think they had a kid within a year. I think there was my ex fiance, she got married within like a year and a half after we broke up. After we were together for 7 years.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like the movie. There's probably
Yeah,
more. Probably more.
there probably is, but
Even
I don't talk to him anymore.
the catfish girl probably got married after
Who knows?
the drunk guy at the bar. It's been great chatting. Thank you for being on the pod.
Yep. Thank you for having me.
You will have to go on dates so that we can.
I will try and make it the worst date ever.
Yes.
I'll take her to those adult video stores.
That's a thing. That could be fun. Some hobo.
Or adult arcades.
They still have those?
I have no idea.
Probably at Disneyland. Thank you for being on, and I'll see you when I see you.
Thank you for having me.
Wow. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed episode 6. Told you guys it was a fun one. Again, like I said in the beginning, if you have a story you would like to share, it can be funny, crazy, wild, awesome, best date ever. Get on with me. As you can see, we don't stay to the topic of dating all the time. We can go banter a little bit off topic and bring it back in. It's just fun. I really enjoy doing these. I love catching up with people and talking about all this stuff. So if you think you have a story or two, or you want to just share, I can pull a story out of you, I'm sure. Reach out and we'll get that scheduled, get you on. It'll be fun, I promise. All right, I hope you guys take care and be careful who you bring home to mom.